Good morning, happy Monday. We will continue our lesson and we will study more about the symbols. Today we will study about water, beasts, and wings. We often find different prophetic illustrations around some sort of water or sea, especially in connection with the wind. What does that represent? Revelation 17:15, it said, "And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are people and multitudes, and nations and tongues." We see that water represent people, represent nations, and yesterday we talked about wind, and many times we see a connection between water and wind, because the water represents people, multitudes, and nations, and the wind represent the war between them. And question B said, what does God use to illustrate early kingdoms or empires? Daniel 17-23 said, "These great beasts which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces." We see the difference between God's kingdom and the earthly kingdoms. All of these earthly kingdoms are represented in the Bible prophecy by beasts because their character is to destroy other nations. But God's kingdom is represented by a lamb. That means that his character is based on love. And Christ banished every carnal weapon, every instrument of correction. His kingdom was to be established to uplift and ennoble fallen humanity. Oftentimes a prophet saw a beast flying with wings, totally contrary to the natural existence of the animal. Usually animals, they don't have wings, only birds have wings. But in the Bible prophecy, we see the beasts having wings, 4 wings or some wings. How do these wings symbolize? These are symbolizing the speed, the way that they conquer. In Habakkuk 1:6-10, is telling us, "For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land, to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far, and they shall fly as the eagle that hasted to it." We see the violence that they use to conquer other nations, and the wings represent the speed that they are fighting, and the way that they are conquering other nations. We do need speed. But the note in Gospel Workers is telling us there is a great need of men who can use the press to the best advantage, that the truth may be given wings to speed it to every nation and tongue and people. We need this speed to preach the gospel to every nation. This is our goal, not to conquer other nations, but to give them the good news of God, of the salvation. Then today we study about water, beasts, and wings. And yesterday we studied about wind. And tomorrow we'll continue with some other illustrations, prophetical illustration. May God help us to study the Bible, and when we study especially the prophetic illustrations, to understand what God wants us to illustrate by those symbols. I will see you tomorrow to continue the lesson. May God bless you.